Long-tailed ducks are sea ducks that breed in tundra and taiga areas of Alaska and northern Canada, and winter in saltwater areas along both coasts, as well as the freshwater environments of the Great Lakes and some of the major inland waterways. Long-tailed ducks are more variable in plumage than any other species of waterfowl in North America because they actually have an extra molt. They're almost continuously in some stage of molt. Unlike other ducks, their winter plumage is drastically different than their breeding plumage. So, for this species, we'll do something a bit different than we have for other waterfowl. We'll show you examples of what you might see during either the breeding or the wintering season, as well as some intermediate plumages that you could encounter while doing either breeding or wintering surveys. Long-tailed ducks are medium-sized sea ducks with chunky bodies, although males appear to have a somewhat elongated body form because of their long, pointed tail, which is not unlike that of a drake pintails. Like other diving ducks, they sit fairly low in the water. During the breeding season, as seen here, the male has a white face, white flanks and rump, and a brown and black body. The female has a similar overall pattern, but its face has a variable amount of white, usually as an eye stripe, and the female doesn't have the long tail like the male. It can be difficult to tell sexes apart during breeding, but generally, the male has more white on its head. During the breeding season, long-tailed ducks are fairly tolerant of aircraft, and usually remain swimming when overflown, rather than diving or flying. Long-tailed ducks skitter when they flush, and in flight, they have a fairly fast wing beat and rapid flight, often turning quickly as they are very agile flyers. They usually fly close to the water. In flight, the male has a black stripe down its back, with sharply contrasting white flanks and outer tail coverts. The wings are unmarked, but the shape of the wings is another good field mark. Their wings are narrow and pointed. When in breeding plumage, notice the male's white face patch, the broad black stripe down the back bordered by white, its long tail, and its pointed narrow wings and fast wing beat. Another thing you might notice is that long-tailed ducks have ungraceful landings. They just seem to plop down in the water. Long-tailed ducks are difficult to confuse with other species when on the water. When flying, the body pattern of black down the back and white outer coverts is somewhat similar to a mallard's, but there are enough other differences, such as wing coloration and shape, and head plumage, to easily distinguish the two species. Now let's look at winter plumages for long-tailed duck. Generally, the males will have a white head, gray and black neck patch, a dark body with contrasting white flanks, and of course the long tail. However, you could see a lot of variation in plumage during winter, particularly in early or late winter when birds are in transitional plumages. In saltwater areas, long-tailed ducks can be easily confused with alcids, most notably winter plumaged guillemots. However, alcids almost always dive for escape, whereas long-tailed ducks often flush and fly away. In flight, you'll see a distinct body plumage pattern of white, black, white from head to tail on male long-tailed ducks, particularly when viewed from the side or from above. Look for the frequent turns, the rapid wing beat, and the narrow pointed wings. These are all good field traits of long-tailed ducks. During winter, it's quite likely that long-tailed ducks will fly rather than dive when approached by aircraft. And also watch for the crash landings.